How's it
Morning.
going? Hello.
All right, Coach, if you're ready, Ethan, you want to get us started?
Yeah, real quick first, Hunter, are you sending us a recording of this?
Yes, I'll send everybody a recording that's on here when we're done.
Okay, sweet.
Yep.
Hey, Courtney, seems like yesterday we were at the ballpark. Just how has your off season for you personally gone, since the end of the last season, kind of getting to reset and move into a new season, a new year?
Shoot, I think this off season felt faster and busier than any that we've had in a long time. So it was good. I'm not sure I fully reset, but it was good. Sometimes it's when you don't feel like you have to wait as long, sometimes that's better. And so it felt like it came a lot quicker. We were ready for it. It was nice to welcome the group back, and welcome our newcomers. And so we're good. It's like we never stopped. We just kept going.
Speaking of all your newcomers, how have you seen so far then maybe integrate with the team?
Oh, well, I think they've integrated really, really well and really quickly, which is really nice. Our freshmen, we have five freshmen, and they aren't really shy. They don't like just kind of wait around. They dive right in, and so that's been really, really nice to see that. And our two transfers are seasoned vets that have been there and done that, and they're friends that played travel ball together. So it's kind of them re connecting and getting to play together. And so it's been pretty seamless. It's really great.
You have a lot of older players on this team, a lot of veterans. Maybe how is it different this time of year whenever you have a roster composed of so many seniors, maybe years past, kind of just how you're able to maybe go about handling business?
Yeah, we have eight, nine seniors, and so there's definitely a lot, but we still also have quite a few freshmen and sophomores. So it's still getting them to blend. I think the thing that's nice with seniors and older players is they have been there and they have done that, so they know how to train, they know how to bring it at a high level every day. And so it's just been a really good tone setter for our younger ones. And but it's all new, so it's all still blending them all together, and so there's some really new, and then there's some stuff they've done forever, and so they're handling both of those things very well.
Last thing I'll ask for now is just kind of what's your excitement level on what this team could do defensively this year, with what y'all bring back and then what you got in.
I'm really excited what they can do defensively. With just defensive stats of being the best defense in the country last year. We're not going to skip a beat with this group. And adding a Dakota Kennedy, who's a Gold Glove, adding Tiana Bell, who really is so versatile and can play all over, and just adding some really great tools. I think we're really excited about that defensively, system wise, just different defensive schemes and everything. And then we're really, really excited about young pitching that we're adding to our pitching staff. We have two freshmen that are exceptional. And so when you're adding them to our full staff we had, I think we're just really excited about the year. We have some work to do, but we're really excited and just really encouraged about what this group is made up of early.
Kyle?
Hey, Coach, I was going to ask you about kind of feeding off that question of what you have coming back on defense. You've got obviously you're having to replace your first baseman that was just a little bit good, but the rest of your infield is back. And you think about having Kaylee and Kennedy back there behind the plate. So how big is that? Not just getting them back on defense, but especially like with Tal, how much improvement she had at the plate, just getting their bats back as well with what you have from your infield.
Well, it's huge. Every year you have a year of experience is another year of experience that you can put in your toolkit, good or bad. But we're adding a year of really high level production across the board. And so I think we're really excited about it. KD's out this fall, just with injury, so it's allowing us to kind of move some players around and see what they can do and really focus on her leadership off the field and perspective. So that's going to be really great. We add Brinley Bain, who adds depth behind the plate and in the middle. We add, like I said, Dakota Kennedy, who's already a Gold Glove winner, that is going to hold down left field, and so you have just these seasoned vets that have produced and competed at such a high level, and it's so your starting point so much higher, and it's really great for the young ones that come in because they're seeing how they compete on the daily and they're immediately elevating their game.
Awesome. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Justin?
Helps to know where the button is. I'm curious, Courtney. The one year you decide to play Oklahoma State in fall ball, you end up playing them in the postseason. Lot of people. I'm just curious. A lot of people don't play tough matchups in fall ball. But you played them last year. You play them this year. What do you get out of that? Obviously, it's a very different team. 9 months later, 10 months later, what do you get out of playing a team like that in the fall, especially at their place on the road like you're doing this year?
Well, it's a really good measure. I think we saw that last year, of playing Oklahoma State and Tulsa in a little triangular that day. It just challenged us in ways that we hadn't been challenged in the fall, and that's what we wanted. That's why we sought it out. And I think we saw the value in that a ton last year with such a young team of just, I still remember that day, Oklahoma State, we matched up with Oklahoma State, and it was like, what are we doing? It just felt like we were far off. But I also remember telling our team after the game is, hey, this is a really good feeling. We're going to get a chance to play them again and we're going to beat them. And we have to know that this is where we are now and this is not where we're going to be, but it's the measure. And so it's great. I think we have a great relationship with Oklahoma State and Kenny of just knowing what that day can do for our programs and just, being challenged in so many ways. That's what the fall's about is to see where you're at and make the adjustments that you're going to need to play and beat teams like that in the spring.
And then I know it's still the first few weeks, but what's it been like for you to have another coach out in the bullpen with you full time?
So good. We've been really lucky because we've worked together for so long. And so not only does Parker bring so much in the pen, he brings so much everywhere, but he knows our program and he knows us. And so for me specifically, I've worked with Parker for 6 years and he's been in the bullpen with me for so long. So we know how each other work and we complement each other so well. But there's a lot of hats you have to wear as a head coach, and sometimes you get pulled away, and it's just nice to know that he is so good at what he does, and he can just jump in and take over the pen, and they can rely on him and know that we're on the same page. But he brings so much to our program, and I'm just happy he said yes, coming back.
Next question, anybody?
I'll hop back in.
No.
Or Chip's here. Okay, Chip.
Hey, Courtney.
Hi, Chip.
Having the core of your coaching staff remain intact, how important was that for you?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. One, because I just want to work with them. So, selfishly, I just really enjoy going to work every day. But continuity is really important in this game and at this level. I trust them. They're high level minds and they're the best people around. And so I think that our team, when they know what to expect and they know the heart of a person and our staff, I think it's huge. It's huge for our culture. And it's huge for just, picking up where we left off and just continuing to push each other. We're comfortable with each other to where we respect the crap out of each other, to where we're going to continue to challenge each other to continue to raise the bar. And we've done that in the off season and we'll continue to do that.
Having so many experienced returning players, coming back. I mean, this Is this the deepest team you've ever had as far as experience coming back?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having so many players coming back, does that allow you to maybe focus more on the freshman players, knowing that you have the experienced players, you don't have to quite, go through all the little mundane things with them that they already know how to do? Does that give you more time to focus on the new coming players? And what does that do for you, like moving forward, if you can spend a little bit more time with them than maybe you couldn't if you didn't have as many experienced players coming back? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And I would say, in theory, maybe yes, but everybody still has a lot of work to do. And
Right.
so I think it's just like, okay, what's next for this player? What does this player need? And so yes, we have the ability to rely on our returners and our older ones to get the younger ones up to speed a lot of what the expectations are and what the daily looks like. And we can really dive into working with them and our development, but also it's always the question of what's next for each individual player. And so it's the excitement of, okay, what's the plan for this player? What do we need to do? How are we going to elevate them? And let's go. And so yes and no, I guess. Yes and no.
Yeah, I guess they say, the best teams are player-led teams.
Mm-hmm.
And, you've got that much experience, so much strength up the middle, returning. Was that something you think you would agree with? Is it, this is going to be an opportunity to be a really player-led team?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think more than anything, it's this team feeling that from last year's team. Last year's team was maybe the best leadership we've ever had. Reagan Kramer is one of the best leaders, if not the best leader we've ever had in our program. And so it's learning from them and what made last year's team special. And a lot of what made last year's team special was their maturity in the leadership, of just, holding a consistent standard, and not compromising that. And if it's just us doing that, it's not enough. And so it was just so consistent throughout the team. And so I know this current team, we have really great leaders back. I think we have to fill some of those holes and those roles that we saw a Jimmy take on, and we will do that. That's what the fall's for. But this team has a really, really solid foundation. And so I'm excited to see what this team is all about as we continue to grow together.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach, another one I had about the pitching to add on to the experience coming back. Obviously, Robin's really seasoned and she took really that next step last year. Obviously, Peyton, the no-hitter, her last start, she was exceptional. So those two kind of coming in with a little bit of pressure this year. How have they handled that with their continued development, just with their day-to-day activities throughout the offseason?
Oh, it's funny. I actually don't think they're coming in with any pressure. I think that they have a different starting point this year, and I think for them it's um seeing what they are capable of and still not reaching that. And so they're hungry competitors. And so for them, I think it's coming in to this year and wanting to continue to elevate their individual game. And then they're in a different role too of, Rob took it on last year a bit. But Peyton's going to be in a different role of really getting those freshman pitchers, just adjusted and up to speed and really getting them into our staff of how well they're going to work together and what that expectation is. And so I think they're in a good spot. I think that there's still a lot out there for them. And so I think from what I'm seeing from them is more of a competitive hunger than any kind of pressure or anything. I think they're seeing the strength of this staff. I think they're seeing how deep it is, how many tools there are, and they know that they can really rely on each other. And when you know that, kind of relieves a lot of that. So I think we're in a really special spot.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'll hop back in. Courtney, you said that KD is going to miss this fall with something. Is it a really long-term concern, or is it just this fall?
It's not a long-term concern. It's actually just a making sure she's as strong and as ready to go as she can be for her last season. And so I think she'll be ready to go towards the end of fall. But we're going to be really patient with it and just making sure we're putting her in the best spot to be her best come spring.
And then a pitcher we didn't talk about, but Cam Harrison, her last time we saw her really kept y'all in that game against Ole Miss. Number one, just what do you think that maybe did for her, having that kind of performance to move into the offseason? And then could she slot into, you need to have Courtney Day is gone now. You have a new spot for designated hitter in the lineup. Is she somebody who could compete for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a few options for that. And so I think that that's just as deep as everywhere else is just some really strong options, some really big competitors. Cam had some really big outings for us. And I think the big thing for her is that she took away from last year is seeing her thrive in that big moment and wanting that more consistently. So she worked her tail off over the summer. And so she's ready for more. She's ready for more. She's a competitor. And I think she sees her place in this staff because she has a profile that's very different than everyone else. And so we need her and we need her more consistently. And she's stepping up to that.
And then last thing I'll ask is they were like the number one recruited freshman class that are now seniors now between Robin and Tal and Reagan, just kind of uh, having that core still here, and they're players that you recruited and y'all been able to like develop within your program. What does that mean? That you have so many that have just stuck with it in an era where a lot of people transfer.
Well, it's hugely important. Just any year you stay at this point, it feels like the exception. And this crew has bought into our culture and they've bought into Arkansas and they know they've had a hand in building it and they still feel like there's stuff out there for them. And I think more than anything, they feel like this is a place that has supported them individually on and off the field. And the grass isn't always greener for that. I think they hear stories, other places, and they know that they're happy here and that they're thriving individually. And so it says a lot to who they are, and then it says a lot to our culture and what they've helped create. And so I'm proud of that. I'm proud that we retained our players. So we didn't lose anybody. That's really, really huge in this day and age. And it's them buying into our culture and believing in this place and valuing not only what we're doing, but who we are. And it's really special.
I have a few questions if that's okay. My first question is, what goals do you think you have for the team for this season? Like what's your biggest goal this season?
Well, I think, for us, we don't necessarily sit and have these big goals. Obviously, for us, we want to get to the series. That's not anything we're going to shy away from. We want to get there and we want to compete. We feel like we have a team that can win a national championship. For us, it's just continuing to be better every day. And I know that's such a coach speak, but when you're in this grind and this long of a season and you're in the SEC and you're playing the best of the best and you learn so much about yourself and so how is this team gonna grow and continue to elevate not only who we are today, but who this program is and what the legacy is. And so I think our goal is always to just be better today than we were yesterday and be better tomorrow than we were today. And so I think, that's what we're going to strive to do. We have a consistent expectation and we're not going to sacrifice that. So just continuing to raise the bar of who we're going to be every day.
Alrighty. And are there any like standout players this season that you think that we should like keep our eyes on?
Yeah, we have a lot. I don't know. I mean, we had quite a few returners, and then we added a really talented freshman class and two crazy talented transfers. So it's easier to say. I don't know. I wouldn't count anybody out. I think you should keep a close eye on most of them. They're really, really special and really talented.